What is up, Overwatch community? My name is Trips, and welcome back to another episode of Watchpoint, the show where we talk about everything Overwatch related. And we are finally live. We are finally past the launch date for Overwatch. This is a new subsection, kind of out of beta. Open beta didn't really count because it was kind of live anyways, but they shut it down and we're finally live. But we have a few things that we want to talk about this week, including some of the hackers and stuff like that. There was actually a huge ban wave, balance issues with a couple of the characters, and some stuff like why competitive isn't out yet. But first, I want to welcome back once again the other two hosts of the show. First of all, Yiska.
Hey.
And Vultcha, a lovely editor.
How's it going?
So before we get into a couple of the topics, I do want to mention once again, just like every week, some of the YouTube videos actually that Vultcha produces after the show is kind of recorded and everything like that. He has running in the background, plays the game and full cuts of video from people playing, stuff like that. If you want some of your footage, not just 15-second play of the game clips, but more elongated, even full game, full 10, 15-minute games in the background of the show currently, you can email those to watchpointtv@gmail.com. And I believe we just hit 55 subs, so initially we're kind of slowing down from our jump right before launch, but if we do hit that 100 on YouTube, we will get our custom URL instead of all the jibber jabber that kind of goes on in our URL link, as well as I'll be giving away a full copy of the game. If it is on console for you and you win it, I don't know how exactly I'm going to do it yet, but I'll figure it out. I'll give it away. But into the topics. Hackers. Something actually we kind of talked about the last cast because we did talk about the whole Cloud9 conspiracy and things like that in tournaments. But recently just posted, I believe it was earlier today on the subreddit, 1,500 players in China were banned, got the ban hammer for permanent bans because that's how Blizzard's doing it now is they don't care. It's not going to be a slap on the wrist. It's you're done. And I don't know if China is the same way. I know we talked about a lot earlier about the whole like Social Security attaching to people in the C region. Do you know if China's covered in that?
I don't think they have it. In Korea, it's like a social cultural problem where they have it, but yeah.
Okay. Some of the, I confused a couple of the other guys with some of the names that were listed. I know I linked you guys the full list, but my favorite are 100 tier cannot ride sister hashtag 5614. That is someone's name translated into English from the Chinese servers.
I sincerely hope by banning them they open up the names again so someone can take it again. It's just too good to not take.
Or Blizzard, I am your father, yo. I don't know. I don't know where these people are coming up with these, but they're obviously just troll names because they know they're going to use the accounts to bot or whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm really excited to see them publish names. That was something we were calling for a couple episodes ago. That'd be important for them to do. That's awesome. Like, way to go, Blizzard. That takes some balls sometimes for a big company to do something like that. You see it a lot in the smaller, like, indie games, but rarely do you see ban lists and published names from big companies. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a wall of shame, basically. So
the good thing is also, like, I saw some additional information about these bans, and they seem to be very hard to get rid of. Like, maybe it has something to, I don't know the technicalities, but someone mentioned that they did several things and bought a new account, like reinstalled or checked the registry or whatever, and they still got banned. Even though they didn't cheat, they continued banning new accounts of the same person based on maybe hardware ID or something.
That's
right?
Crazy.
So if you're cheating on your account, and unless you're very skilled or very knowledgeable about computers, you're probably permanently fucked. Unless you buy a new computer, I guess.
A lot of the attackers are really not versed in that sort of stuff either. They just buy the program and then, like, poon. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as that goes, I don't know. The thing that a lot of people are still in question, like I heard a couple people on my end talking about it, where a couple people who got banned from things like the CS:GO community and stuff. They're coming over to they're coming over to Overwatch, and whether or not they should be banned. I think we talked about this in the past before, but I guess I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be banned. But it's kind of where do you draw the line from other games to this game?
Yeah, I think it's also this. In general, I think the idea, maybe that's also, the European ethics talking in me, but the idea of permanent bans in general as a punishment doesn't sit well with me. Almost in any case, permanent bans feel like too harsh of a punishment for almost any crime you can commit. Like, let's be honest, everyone has been 14 and doing some stupid shit in their lives. Why would you not be able to compete in a tournament when you're 24 or something, right?
I could see the age argument being pretty valid, but I kind of go the other way. If you hack at a game, you're probably a personality I don't want to play with ever again. So if you're gone, then I'm happy. But I could definitely see the age argument. I mean, yeah, you do stupid things as a kid. That's kind of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of rules out the whole getting banned from another game because you played it when you were younger, but I'm still okay with the whole permanent ban. If you mess up in Overwatch, you shouldn't play the game again, especially if you do it in competitive.
Yeah.
Especially competitive, yeah. That's tough. That's another level of just being a total piece of shit, I guess you could say.
Okay. A couple of things that obviously, once the game comes out and you're getting a bunch of new kids in and things like that, once again, what's coming up in a couple of the forums on like the Battle.net forums and even in Reddit and stuff like that is balance. And I think the biggest proponent is probably people crying about McCree.
Yeah, well, it seems valid. I mean, McCree doesn't really have a counter right now. The closest thing I would say is Zarya, and that's kind of a toss-up. It's kind of a coin toss. She doesn't really counter him. It's just she can contest him. From the dev post I read, it sounds like they're going to be looking directly at the flashbang. What I would kind of like to see is the flashbang not be able to be aimed, so you can't aim it up over a Reinhardt shield, so that would make a Reinhardt strong against McCree, and then it could also help against Genjis who are jumping. I think anything more might be beyond what Blizzard would be brave enough to do right now as far as balance changes. I don't see them squishing the size of it, and I don't see them giving him a damage nerf when he does a fan either. Maybe, but I think that might be a little bit bold.
I just don't. I guess I'm on the more side of the get good mentality, and it's a little bit not too far into that side, but it's like, yes, Genji can reflect D.Va's defense matrix, can completely nullify it. You can Reinhardt block it, things like that. So it is annoying, and I think it should be tweaked a tiny bit. I just don't think they should, completely. They shouldn't overstep their boundaries here. Like they maybe add like a second to the cooldown, something simple like that.
Yeah, I would like to see like a lot of power actually being transferred from either flashbang or fan, and like really what these players with great tracking that left clicking becomes a lot more potent. Like not to say too much about the tournament, but like the TakeTV LAN, there was a very distinctive difference between playstyles and McCree's. For instance, ID Huri likes to headshot with left click, yeah, and then others just played almost like it's intended right now with a lot of right clicks and being very aggressive up in your face combos, and like the purist in me kind of really enjoys these sick flicks to the headshots. It's like this Deagle effect in CSGO, and it would I just enjoy it much more than the fan issue. Then again, like what you said about the flashbang, it's probably from a game balance perspective, being able to throw it over the shield is, yeah, it's obviously a bit of a problem, even though it's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah.
So if there was more counterplay, I guess I would like it more. The problem is that at a higher level, it almost becomes like rock, paper, scissors. As in, good Reinhardts will be able to, realize the guy's going for it and then pull their shield up. But then sometimes...
You can even get it underneath it, too.
Exactly. And then if you pull it up, then it becomes like, okay, now you can flash me under it. So it's like, okay, rock, paper, scissors, what did you choose, McCree? Where did you look? It's almost like a penalty situation in a goalkeeper sort of thing. Yeah. You jump to the right, or I don't know. It's sort of fun, but at the same time, kind of cheap.
It'd be interesting to see if they kind of brought a couple other characters up to par to contest him, like Mei, and they're looking at D.Va, I guess, but Mei, she can contest him, but I mean, he's better at what she does, basically. It'd be neat to see him brought into line via another character, I think.
Yeah. It's also pretty it's a general issue with ultimates being refunded, but his ultimate being refunded, it's like way too strong. Like, you create so much space to a team just by high nooning, and then you're like, JK, at 50%, oh, there's a Roadhog, headshot, oh, I guess I got another high noon. It's like,
yeah, high noon faking. A lot of people say that his ult in general just charges too fast. Yeah. Like, he's overall just so overpowered, and something needs to be tweaked, but I really don't think it's the flashbang.
I mean, it got worse.
Yeah.
They actually buffed the flashbang a while ago. With the when they changed fan to have a longer reload, they increased the time, I think, where it's like the time frame, I think 0.25 seconds or something, and I really didn't like that too much. Then again, it's maybe increase the range, decrease the like the AOE of the flashbang or something. So you really need to aim it or something. I don't know. I'm really unsure what they can do.
I thought maybe it might be decreasing the range might make tracers kind of run wild at that point in competitive play, or I'd be worried about that.
Yeah, it's like, that's a good question in general. Are they keeping the floodgates closed, so to speak? Because like great Genjis, how can you really counter them at some point? Like, tracking them while they are just going ham with their ultimate in your backline, killing a Mercy, like, bouncing off back and forth, it's very hard to stop them at this point. So it's like, okay, maybe McCree is the one keeping them in check sometimes, but I don't know.
You mess with one thing, you're going to screw up the whole ecosystem.
Yeah. The problem also is he just doesn't have a counter.
Yep.
Right.
Moving on, as far as balance goes, a couple other things would be obviously Zenyatta. I've heard complaints that people go, well, really the only two characters you can play are Lucio and sometimes Mercy, for as far as healing goes, and that Zenyatta received such a huge nerf from his line of sight that either Blizzard should revert that or figure out another way, obviously like the same question with McCree, if there is another way around that, if there's something that they can, I don't know, increase the time before the drop-off, something like that.
There's a whole bunch of different ways you could go about fixing Zenyatta. They're all really tricky. His orb of Discord is so strong, and if you buff his healing too much, he just becomes a monster again. I mean, orb is just nuts. It's a really good ability. But yeah, he's not a good healer. I say this sometimes on stream, he's a part-time healer, or like a moonlighter healer. He's full-time damage, part-time healer. And what's funny is, for like a design perspective, he's supposed to be like yin and yang, and he's definitely not yin and yang right now. He's definitely like yang or yin. He's out of balance. So I don't know. I thought maybe just giving him more movement speed might help, but I think the problem is the healing needs help.
And I think every fix has to start with getting rid of his health pool problem, because back then it wasn't as big of an issue, but now it seems like every second player at Widow is fucking godlike. right?
Yep.
And like him being able to be one-shot body shot is like such a huge liability. And Widow is among the most played characters in solo queue too, like in quick play. And then you see them in competitive all the time. Like the best players in the world all have Widow in their lineup and play them constantly. There's no way Zenyatta with 150 health pool will ever be viable in these situations. So I think like 200 HP is like a must-have. I mean, back then he was also overpowered because Symmetra helped him in a way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now that Symmetra is weaker, then it also kind of implicitly nerfed him, sort of with in the gang, and then I don't know. He has a lot more problems. But
His ultimate is a big problem too, because he wants to stay back away from his team to do damage and stay out of trouble. And I mean, you can't get to your team if you're far back and ultimate them in time to like really stop a Reaper or other bullshit. It doesn't really work in my opinion. His ultimate.
Yeah.
It's a big positional problem for him.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one up on the chopping block would be D.Va, in that people think that D.Va does a little bit she's underwhelming as far as her damage goes. The way that people explained it as far as lore-wise would be that she has 2 giant machine guns, basically mini bastions for arms, and yet she tickles people as far as her damage goes.
Well, it's kind of a mistake to like balance based on lore. I mean, like
I know.
Giant, hyper-intelligent moon monkeys. I mean, how are they supposed to perform on a battlefield? But yeah, I don't know. I think she does pretty good damage. I play D.Va quite a bit. She's really good at getting picks. Like on one-on-one situations, she's quite good at charging in, crashing into them, meleeing them, and then burning them down. But I don't know. She's like a crappy Winston, I guess, when you look at it overall, the overall picture. Maybe look at Defense Matrix. It has pretty nasty cooldown right now. Maybe buffing that a little bit, making it a little bit more reliable for a team fight might help. I
mean, let's just say this. If a 4-year-old kid fell into, the cage of a bunch of D.Vas,
oh my God,
nobody would have to shoot the D.Vas because they would pose no threat to a 4-year-old.
You're not even American. Why?
No, but I think one thing that they could also look at is what about being able to shoot while running and not, running slower in that sense.
Yeah.
Like that would be an interesting thing to see. If that would help her at all. I expect it would help her a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Maybe.
Changing the amount of... Because didn't they get rid of Roadhog's, like, such big slow on his ultimate?
Yeah. I was going to say that would be a good parity comparison to see if it helped him. It didn't seem to help him too much for his ultimate, but I don't know. His playstyle is much different than D.Va.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then next up on the chopping block for the topic would be lever penalty. Apparently a lot of people are disliking, because I saw one post say he claims to have a life. He has kids and he has jobs that he has to attend to. So he doesn't like the lever penalty, which from what I could gather is it takes a snapshot of your last 20 games, and if you pass the threshold of 75%, if you did not complete 75% of the games that you just played, you get a lever penalty, which is you only get 25% of XP that you would have normally. So you're leveling up slower. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just XP and like shiny things in the end, so why are people even getting that upset? So
I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a problem with the experience, because like you said, it's just for cosmetics, the leveling up BS. But at the same time, yes, I don't care if you have a life. The game lasts 10-15 minutes. You shouldn't have a reason not to leave. Like, just play the game or don't play the game.
The one thing I encountered recently is that because I think it is because they have been introducing so many updates that sometimes the client just breaks for some people. Like I have a friend that couldn't connect and was constantly kicked out. Like we queued, we join lobby, he gets kicked. Now this happens every time. Then they threaten the leaver penalty, right?
Yeah.
So if you're getting the leaver penalty based on stability issues of the client, that's obviously an issue. And I think what also they could think about is if you're in a full pre-made, you're obviously, saying, okay, we kind of take the risk of playing with this person that might or might not be AFK. Maybe have an option to say, okay, we don't want to kick based on, inactivity or something, because we know and we accept that the guy has to look after his kid every once in a while.
Yeah.
That would be
I've had that before, being in a group and somebody go, oh, okay, I'm going to go grab a water while we're in queue, and immediately when they walk away, it gets into a game and they get kicked.
Yeah, so... But in general, it's a very light system of punching levers, right? 25% XP. It's almost like you group up and then you're kind of even again because of the 20% group bonus, so... Whatevs.
Yeah, I don't think
there's no legendaries in loot boxes anyway, as I found in my 31 levels.
I have 4 legendaries. So
come on.
And then pretty much the last... we got a couple more topics after this, but competitive release date. There was a tweet that came out for competitive saying that we're basically going to have to wait another month. It's not going to be until the end of June. So I don't know what system they're going to have. I don't know what... if we've changed anything. We've talked about this for a couple weeks and ahead of time, but actually they did give us a little bit of a scare saying that it would be at the end of July. So I don't know if you guys have thought about competitive at all as far as any other changes that they could make or any other feedback you have from any other games, but this was a very light one, just that they announced the release date.
I think I gave all my ideas I could possibly on the podcast so far. I guess I could say I'm really excited to see what they come up with, though. I'm pretty excited to see what their result is.
Yeah.
To me, here's how you do it. Stopwatch. You introduce a ghost payload. Show okay, if this ghost payload is the minimum amount you need to complete the map to sort of visualize. Okay, now you can't finish it anymore because the team before you beat your time, and now you need 3 minutes to get there. But you would need from your position 3 minutes 10. You lost. That's basically how I would do it, and then visualize it either by a ghost payload or have it in the UI somewhere. Like maybe there's this bar that kind of shows you how many people are channeling and how many meters are left to the goal. Like if you had something visualizing it there. Case closed. We're done.
You're very strong on the stopwatch opinion, aren't you?
Well, I really don't like... I don't like the other game modes too much. And the other problem is that it's just the fairest way. Like if I'm winning my attack in 5 minutes and they are winning their attack in 7 minutes, but I'm shit at Ilios and lose the game because of that, that's just not satisfying to me.
Yeah.
So I know in general I have to say though, the problem right now really is a difference in expectations, and I notice this among my friends, and I notice this among the player base, that some people are still in the fucking around, kind of phase where they say let's not take this game so seriously, or at worst, it's okay, let's take it seriously now, and let's take it not seriously later, because that is something not even the MMR can fix for you. If people are inconsistently performing in your MMR system, then the MMR system can't accurately match you in order to get your opponents that are of your skill level. And because of the differences in expectations and not having a, try-hard queue, we're having these frustrating situations right now that create more toxicity than it should, and that should apply more pressure to Blizzard, while at the same time not enough to, throw out a shitty system. And, it's a hard place to be, but yeah, it's a bit of a problem right now.
The thing I don't get when that happens is, especially with a group of friends, it's a little hard to push that, like, hey, I'm trying to win. But especially in pubs, the people you go, oh man, please don't, don't go that. Pick up a Lucio. Let's try double Winston. But you end up with one tank, one healer, and 4 damage, and it's just that line of, oh, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm trying not to win, or like I'm trying to win, but I'm just trying to have fun playing the characters that I like. And I don't know. I'm getting. Let's just say I'm very salty some nights. After, like, earlier today, I played against like 6 tracers. It was just stupid. And I get it. It's nice to have like that casual mode, but not even. I don't know. Just try hard mode, like you said.
It'd be nice just to have a safe spot call it like casual, a safe spot to practice characters you don't ever use. Like, I want to learn how to use Mei pretty bad, and I don't end up using her because I want to win at this point. Earlier when I was learning the game, I didn't care that much, but now I want to win. If I have them compartmentalized, this is where I win, this is where I goof around and like learn, that would be great. I think a lot of the population's feeling that way right now.
Yeah. Okay. And I threw this one kind of into the mix to you guys just because I saw a post about it. Skin ideas. This has nothing to do with kind of the competitive and balance changes that we've been kind of talking about, all the tryhardness. This is just for fun. I came up with a couple that I saw. So something like a traditional samurai Genji would be pretty sick, as well as like a warrior instead of an axe, something like a broadsword, a long sword for Reinhardt.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple of, like, the way the characters are. I think there's a lot of potential for future skins. And one thing that I think I would like is like one theme that carries over to other characters.
So you could have like a whole team of skins, basically.
Yep. Yeah. For what they're doing in League or something, where it's like, okay, I don't even know like what they're called, but for instance, Pentakill. There's like Pentakill skins, and they're part of a band or something, and then everyone has different elements of that band. Just skins that kind of net together, right? Not necessarily to enforce team comps or anything, but just to have like fun concepts among these characters, and then possibly like have them. Okay, I guess I could see them actually bundling them up and selling them. Actually,
yeah, something like that would be different. But how do you feel about I know in League and a couple of the other games they've done like the team comp that wins whatever, like they sell like a foreshadowing TakeTV bundle of the team that won and what characters they picked, so that those characters would have those skins, or like just a jersey with that esports logo on it, something like that.
Yeah,
and that
would...
Go ahead.
I wouldn't personally buy it, but I mean, people love that stuff, so
yeah,
why not?
And it's another way for Blizzard to, bank off of it and help build the community. But I guess that also falls in another question, which would be, I know even though you might not care that much about skins, it's still a question of how goofy you want the game to look eventually, and how, are we going to be seeing like Santa Claus, like Roadhog and stuff like that flying around, or if they should keep it more kind of toned down, or even have a vanilla setting, because I know a lot of games with cosmetics have had people request this in the past, like a vanilla setting for competitive, or a vanilla setting for tournaments, where it's none of the confusion, none of the, debauchery that happens, just the straight game and trying to win.
Well, for the how outlandish or goofy to get, I guess for me personally, fairly goofy is okay. Santa Claus skins isn't okay. Something that like Soldier 76 in a Hawaiian shirt, that's all right. That's kind of goofy, and but maybe he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt one day. But I don't see him dressing up as Santa Claus or whatever. I guess if it makes some sense, it's good. If it's just like some kitschy, crappy thing, like elf tracer, something like holiday themed or something like that. I would not like that. That would be pretty bullshit in my opinion. Um, but for competitive play, limiting skins, you could limit them in the game settings already, but I haven't really seen that used in the few competitive scenes that I've seen recently. So, have you, Yiska, seen them limit skins?
No, not really. I mean, I think down the line you have to kind of think about it that you limit some skins. For instance, League actually does it. Like League, there's in the rules you can't pick certain skins because they are true. Like I don't even know if it has anything to do with game competitive integrity or if it fucks with the codec on Twitch or something. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but yeah, just eventually to kind of just have the option to get rid of stupid skins, also to give them the creative room to create whatever skin they deem fine, and then to be able to say the competitive community, okay, that might be too much, let's not use them. I mean, the thing is in general though that the community right now is kind of in a close way, and most of the top players, like on these issues, I doubt anyone would say, no, I really want my Reinhardt, or I won't play this tournament. So yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah.
Okay. Something a little bit more important and a little bit more probably part of your adventures, Yiska, is the pro scene and the TakeTV, which you actually went to.
Yeah, I went 2 days. I went on Friday, the first tournament day. And we had MKL on the first day. They actually won their match quite convincingly, 3-0-2. Pretty sick performances. Overall, like the venue was amazing for, like, if you're a person that goes to LAN for the first time, that was the best tournament for you, bar none. Like, it was all paid for. Like, the flight was paid for, the hotels were paid for, food was, I'm not sure if 100% of the food was covered, but they actually ordered stuff for the teams there. They cooked for them there. Then beverages were in the house, even though, like, I kind of hinted at this before the cast, like they were all chugging like energy drinks, Red Bull and Monster the entire time. Like
it's because Adderall's illegal.
The problem was a couple of players actually ordered out and got the bad stick. Like the city where it happened is honestly kind of a shithole in terms of Germany, and they obviously got the bad pizza place, and two of the creation, for instance, got sick and had to puke, and I don't know, like, yeah, and that wasn't provided by TakeTV. Yeah, to be fair, that was something they ordered themselves. So no, but in general, it was like imagine a bar with, like, I guess 10 to 15 TVs all around, and the amazing thing was they didn't grab the Twitch streams. They didn't Twitch stream their onto their monitors. They directly transfer it from the streaming PC. So you have, like, super crisp quality on these monitors, like much better than you could ever have on Twitch TV. That was great. They're just sitting there at the bar, having a beer and watching it, and then, like, I don't know, 20 meters to your right, the guys are actually playing in the booth. You kind of still hear him screaming a bit. It's muffled because it's like a closed room. That was awesome. And it's like it's super chill atmosphere. Like, the first thing you have to do when you get in is you have to take your shoes off. Right? It's like a chill place where you go, like, bare feet, and it's like comfy chairs and everything. And then there's another room with, like, table tennis, which they were playing the entire time. And then there's a small cinema with 24 seats where we were watching, like, Overwatch tournaments in this cinema. It was just fucking amazing in that regard, right? Like, I would go there every time again. Like, that, from that regard, it was amazing. Props to TakeTV for doing a very good job.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I really enjoyed was Too Good's casting. It's like unreal. Like he first cast already best caster for me in the scene, with then Slasher, I guess. Like because he has the knowledge of these players, but also because he has the FPS credentials, right? He came from he came into the scene as a Quake player, and he has insane knowledge of Overwatch 2 now. He's actually advising some teams on strategy, and he really was able to, explain high-level concepts to the audience with his casting skill. Obviously, like his technical skill is amazing, and his style really speaks to me. I don't like this, tie, like in a suit casting that some, like for instance, Riot favors. I really enjoyed the atmosphere overall, and then also getting like a pro player on for every cast. They actually came around. Like we were sitting in cinema. I was sitting there with Shades, and the guy was like, "Yo, you guys want to cast?" And everyone's obviously silent because they're all shy, gaming mutants, basically just very good at clicking heads, but
gaming mutants.
And I
How
don't
come
know.
you didn't cast, man?
I like the thing is I obviously wasn't part of any team, and I didn't want to go like, yeah, I could cast, and then which player from which team are you? I'm just a casual viewer here. The fun thing would have been that because in the past I have had an interview with Too Good. Probably he doesn't remember it. It's like 6 years ago, but that would have been interesting. But in general, like I would have liked to see Shades cast actually. Like Shades is the nicest guy I've ever met. It's sort of like he's such a genuine guy. Like not a bad thing in his bones. Like and he obviously had a stellar performance in some of these games. Like I don't know if you guys saw the Hanzo clip I showed you. Like he went off on some of these games. Like I talked to they're not called Northern Gaming Blue now. Like they were playing individually, they were almost matching Creation and Rogue. But from a tactical point of view, that looked different. That like sometimes they didn't seem to be communicating a lot, and like that makes me feel though that in the future they might be a team that to get up there, and they obviously lost a lot of spots in the tournament. Yeah. But overall, great success. I really, really enjoyed my time there, and I will be going back to other events that will be hosted there for sure.
Is there anything that you think is like a viewer that they should or could improve?
Sorry, like can you rephrase the question?
As like a tournament goer for people, I mean, for the continuous lands that they're going to be making, is there anything that you felt that they didn't do well?
Well, from a player's point of view, that is obviously not a big problem, or it can be nice, but I think there were too many breaks sometimes. Like, they had breaks within best of five sometimes. Like, long breaks, like when food was ready or something. Like, maybe to, to plan this a little better. Otherwise, I mean, if this is obviously a small tournament, like a small start. If it ever gets bigger, I think this might become an issue with casual viewers, like just harassing players a little too much, right?
Really?
Like it felt because I also think like it maybe it isn't a huge thing, but Overwatch teams in general are a little bit bigger than your usual esport, right? Most of the teams are 5 players. So like some esports has 3 players. If you bring your staff and everything, then everyone has a coach. Everyone, like the owners are there. Then you have a player more than other esports. Like it's huge. It's huge for a bar. It's not huge for a public gathering crowd.
Dude,
so it might
I know
crowded.
I know for a couple of the Dota tournaments, like the huge TI events and things like that, that they just separate them. Like they get their own floor basically.
Yeah, and they just go on.
And they just basically they have set times where they do signings and things like that, and they intermingle. But like at the TakeTV, you're saying it was just all like regular public intermingled with all the pros and the teams and things like that.
Yeah, Like one fun thing, just to illustrate how small it was. I'm going to the toilet, and I'm standing there, and behind me are teams talking strategy, like 2 team members. And the door opens, and the guy is like, "Hush, hush." It was actually their opponent. It was a guy from Melty, like because there's obviously only one bathroom, right? So the venue is quite small. Now consider this: in CS, players absolutely loathe going to the toilet when a tournament is hosted in like an exhibition area, because like if you have to go through all the masses, or everyone wants an autograph, even though you just want to take a leak, that's obviously horrific as an experience if there's like 100 people waiting. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of, maybe I'm jumping the gun here in terms of popularity, but if this ever gets bigger, and I wonder how it happens with the CS tournaments that happened there, like if that was ever an issue, but there's like, you know, these there's couches all over where people can sit, and there were like two set of couches empty at tops at all times. So if there's like 20 people more in this venue, that's at full capacity, I think. If there's 50 more, then you get a problem, definitely.
Yeah. Right? And if you look at things like, I mean, it could be just be that Soda Poppin's playing right now on Overwatch, but I think over the weekend people were saying Overwatch was over like 100K on Twitch, and there was people like T-Pain, like rappers playing Overwatch and celebrities playing Overwatch and things like that. Like, I don't know if that has to do with the marketing because he was streaming on Twitch, but I don't know. It's pretty wild, and it's blowing things like Battleborn out of the water. People are just shitting on Battleborn.
Yeah. The one thing that I also saw was Seagull had at one time more viewers consistently than Lyric. He was legit. Yeah, he was legit the biggest streamer on Twitch for an entire evening, or at least battling Lyric for the viewers. He was consistently at 27, 29K. It's insane, right?
Yeah.
It's quite top heavy in that sense that basically everyone seems to be watching Seagull, and then there come the smaller streamers like Poke, or I don't know how you pronounce his name, or I guess Rufflegator, or you know.
Yeah.
They don't get as many, not nearly as many as 27K, but yeah, like I was positively surprised how many people actually were watching these tournaments too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think TakeTV peaked at 37K. I think, and that's pretty nice.
Did they do anything at the event I'm guessing they had some type of big projection or screen for the audience, but did they ever do anything as far as like interviews or behind the scenes type stuff, or like videos or anything like that? They had like extra like content that they created with the pros, like interviews and things?
Yeah, but basically after every match there was a winner's interview, I guess that was in place. And then when they were on short breaks, the ESL casters, Mitch and JCap, they interviewed players too for that channel, right? Mm-hmm. So they have this, I think it's called Overdrive or something. And they did that, but yeah, it's more like improvised. They don't have like pre-produced videos on any team or something. That's not the state we're in right now, but. In general, like the video production, because they have real video producers on scene. Like there's 3 rooms where people are producing the tournament, basically, right?
Yeah.
They have had on-the-fly highlights ready whenever the game was done, and showing like the best plays from the stream that was shown. That was pretty sick, I found. And one thing I also have to say, 90% of the time they got their overlay good for the stopwatch thing. Because that's a personal pet peeve of mine. Like when nobody, not even the organizer, the caster, or the players know who won. Like that's the most anti-hype shit that you can pull. When everyone's like, "Did we win now?" Or was it like, "Yeah, let me see, let me check with the replay or something." And then you have these tense, excruciating seconds till the game shows you what the game time is. That's such a hype killer, man. Like, really, that should be, like, you should be able to plan this much for your tournaments, to have this timer going on. And then just, like, I get it that sometimes they forget it in, for instance, the Gozu gamers weekly, because these casters are basically also doing their production. I hope they stop doing that and can just focus on casting the games, right?
Yeah.
It's also one thing they had to do, though. The casters also had to do the camera work. I think in the future you should get to the level that you have one guy doing the camera work, even maybe two guys, and then the casters just see the screen in, you know.
Have they done anything with the client at all? Like, do you know if they've done anything for the spectator? It's not as far as Blizzard, but as far as, like, the casters, the casters. Have they been able to improve how they show the games?
Well, the thing is, they switched observers quite frequently, and some people were obviously better than others at it. If viewers care to watch, like, look at the OGN production, how they managed to do the camera. They are pro as fuck at these cameras already. Like, honestly, if you're concerned about Overwatch as an esports with the current tools, I can understand. But, like, look at the OGN channel, how they produced it, and if we get this level of production across all streams, then I don't see an issue, because they had an amazing mix of third and first person, and they have a great, feel for the game when something's going on a specific player. Like, they had very rarely these issues where you you switch to a character where you think something happens, and then nothing happens, and you switch away right before something happens. Right? It's almost like a caster's curse type thing.
Yeah.
But that wasn't happening at OGN. They have a great feel for the game already. It's like almost like these people on the cameras could be playing the game professionally. It was pretty sick, that the level of understanding they had.
Okay. Other than that, I think actually, besides obviously the standings, so if you did not know, Rogue took it in first place, followed by Creation, and is it, I don't even know how to, is it Gravation? Graviton?
Graviton Search, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sick upset, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
they're not even considered top 10.
Yeah.
Graviton Surge.
They like, Melty was at the LAN, and they obviously were playing with Flippy, and Flippy is a pretty sick player, almost like instantly the best player on the team. And I don't think a lot of people would have predicted Melty to not get third, right? So, yeah. Okay.
Anything else you guys want to mention before we go ahead and close out kind of a lesser or a shorter show?
Did you watch Argents Rising? I couldn't, because it was on the same like the NA tournament with Cloud9, Liquid, and Cloud9, Liquid, and there was one other team with the Chill guys, Gale Force Esports, and Cloud9 obviously took it, like, quite convincingly too.
Well, yeah, duh.
Showfall remained to play sick. I wonder how that happened, So
Liquid did okay.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of it, but
I mean, in general, to be fair, like, these tournaments, they could have had both better lineups. Like, the best teams of the region, like, other than Cloud9, like, Cloud9, if Envy was there, that would have been a sick tournament, because Envy seems to be on the upswing. They are now in the NA, in the Envious team house.
Yeah.
And they have been performing quite well. Also bumped up in the Gozo Gamers ranking to second place. And then Reunited obviously also wasn't as TakeTV land, so
I think it's just going to take a while before we get such good like cross-region play, and it's just going to be the best teams of that region going to those lands and just wiping the floor.
yeah. I mean, yeah, but it was a great start in general. Like I was quite surprised. Some of the teams in the Argents Rising tournament also played with like pickups. For instance, Luminosity couldn't entirely attend, so Esper went there, like the Mercy player from them and from the team. It's like, yeah, it was a nice promotion tournament, sort of. Also for the casters, nice practice, I guess, with Fish Sticks and T Squared was casting too. So, I don't know. Huck was casting too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Did better than I thought he would too. Like, that's not to say he did a great job, but I guess it was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have an issue with, you have been a personality in one esport. Now you're getting handled all these opportunities that, even though other casters obviously have would perform in a better way, and you're basically, feeding off your reputation. I think, like, for instance, if you invite ZP and Hexa, they're probably providing better casting than these total outsiders. I guess Fish Sticks was there, so I guess we had, people from the beginning, from the ground up. These are all casters, Also ask Joshi. Like from the ground up, since beta phase, who have been casting. I think it's only fair to invite these types of casters to these events. Now, I don't know if they were asked and couldn't go or something, or it wasn't in the budget or whatever. But yeah, I in general, I think it's only fair that people that have been, pouring so much into this game already, that they get that chance. And hey, if they don't put on the show, and you can objectively say, okay, we have people with better skills right off the gate, like Too Good, for instance. Fair enough. Then don't invite them again, but give them the chance.
I guess that's the crux of it. It's kind of a chance in their opinion, I guess. They're making an investment, and I don't know, maybe this guy won't perform in this situation as well as someone who's like used to that situation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair argument, I guess. Yeah.
There's a lot of money in them, so they playing it safe, I guess, makes business sense. I guess it's a business decision at that point, just to be safe and instead of like provide the best viewer experience, I guess, which is a shame. I mean, I don't know. We're gamers. We're not that picky about like who we watch. Obviously, we watch some terrible shit. It's about like, I don't know. The plays, that's what we care about pretty much.
Yep. And man, were there some plays in these tournaments sometimes. Like, there was some great highlight reels. Like, Tivik went off on some of these games. Like, Lynx had great games. Like, really, like, being able to, because the way the setup is, just, sometimes I think you really only grasp how much better someone is when you're standing behind them. It's almost like to make this relatable for the viewers, like you have this person in your group of friends that you constantly play with, and he seems to be like the good player, but you're like, maybe on a good day, maybe, I could, yeah. And then you would see him play and stand behind him and just grasp, okay, Jesus fucking Christ, his aim is great or something. Yeah. Or his reaction time, or like even standing behind him, I just didn't see that. He just recognized that, and like being able to see these players, like really drives home. And I think there has also been almost an explosion in terms of quality of these games, because teams have been scrimming a lot more actively now, and a lot of teams are actually full time, right? Like Reunited is going full time, Envy is obviously going to America to practice, Melty is full time. Like a lot of organizations are picking out these teams, and they are all practicing. Like scrims are very fruitful currently in the European scene too. Like everyone's screaming every run, and it really drives up the level. And I think at some point Reddit has to kind of concede and say maybe I won't be able to replace these guys in the near future.
I remember back in the closed beta, they Google Me at the time. They were okay before they got picked up. I mean, they weren't amazing, and then I guess they went full time, and they're quite good. They're great now. And I remember at the time being like, they're not amazing. So that's what full time does for a player is, I mean, you just get amazing.
Yeah, that's also one thing about a great player. It's like almost, let's say 80% of these players who are now in European tournaments I met all the time in closed beta. Now, small player pool, obviously, like they get matched with me more easily than now. But these great players, it's almost like they have no hard cap. They can always get better, right? While I'm the low scrub, at some point just hits a plateau. I'm like, okay, now you're just losing me and overturning me, and I'm losing wheels, and I'm old as dirt and probably unable to ever learn. Yeah.
I get those feelings too, yeah. It's cold in my house, my hands are cold. I'm like, I'm an old man with cold liver spot ridden hands. I can't move my mouse. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna play some Winston.
Yep. Good old Winston.
All right. Well, I think it's about time to wrap it up for now. I think before we do that, though, one of the biggest things is that Vultcha, you had a video that you were working on that came out and sounded like you did pretty well on the competitive subreddit, not the normal Overwatch subreddit.
Yeah, I've been posting on the normal Reddit for some time now, and it never gets traction, or it gets 0 upvotes, but I posted a science video about stealth with Yiska on the competitive, and it got to the top, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be posting there again when I do another video. So yeah, check out that if you want to learn about how sound kind of works in the, really quickly how sound works in the game.
Yeah.
I think your issue with the main subreddit, Vultcha, is you haven't cracked the code. Like you just have to say highlight, play of the game, and then it instantly gets 5,000 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the ones where it's like play of the game and it's like just stupid stuff like Tommy Wiseau and like Walter White from Breaking Bad and stuff like that?
Yeah. Maybe you should just hold your ass next to a wall into the camera. That would gather a shitload of views.
What's funny is the Reddit changed a lot. When in the closed beta, I posted those science videos, and one of them got 10,000 views. And then once the game got more picked up, it definitely changed. People aren't interested in that there anymore. They're kind of like for the entertainment and the coolness stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This will change, though. I predict this will change, and much like esports content is currently not upvoted, nobody is too concerned, especially with the lack of ranked, to get better too much at this game. But once this desire to get better turns up and people actually realize how fucking amazing these players are already, then we will see a shift. I predict, and hopefully the mods also do something about this, because I almost can't filter enough of these shitposts right now. Like the system, the filter is right now can only filter one type of content, and it obviously has to be highlights.
Yeah.
And then, but there's other stuff that isn't happening. There's no discussion basically happening at all. And I don't know. I think they should limit it in some way and moderate it.
Well, yeah, maybe even make a second one. I don't know. It seems to be what people want. I mean, they're upvoting that shit, so they seem happy with the comics and stuff. I don't know. I guess it's just a different clientele for the.
But if you ever wanted to prove to anyone that democracy doesn't work, that's the place. That's the reason, right? It's all like pure bullshit.
They're all Trump voters and
basically, yeah. It's like, Jesus. No.
All right. Well, before we lose too many other viewers, we can we can go ahead and close this one out. Well, actually, before they do that, Yiska, do you have anything that you're working on?
Yeah, I actually was working on an article. Then I got a different idea for another one, but so I'm kind of working at 2 at a time. I always do this. I'm also the type of person that reads 7 different books at a time and never finishes any single one of them. It's
Welcome to my life.
It's like, it's almost like because I read them most of the time on my e-reader, it's like, oh, it's 15%. What about that other book? You know, it's like, I think it's the gaming thing, you know, the instant gratification stuff. Like, in the beginning you get it of the style and it's all sort of new, and then you kind of get the flair of the book, and then it's, and that's basically what the writing thing is currently, like, being hindered by, but it's also, like, I'm super rusty. Like, back in the day, I used to produce, obviously, pretty shitty content, but at least one a day. Now it's, like, super hard to just frequently, you know, even, it's not even the ideas, it's, like, you know, the writing that's just excruciating for me, for some reason.
Yeah.
And then also finding a platform to post on.
You gotta drink those energy drinks, that's what you gotta do.
Yeah, just buy a whole case of Monster and just stay up for like 48 hours.
Sponsor us.
Oh my god.
Yep. I wouldn't mind a fridge here. You know, I have a nice corner here.
Yeah, I could put up a Monster poster.
I'm keeping my comics. Fuck you, Monster.
We're not gonna get sponsored. Just sponsor.
Pissing
already.
off the sponsors, pissing off the Trump voters. I'm gonna be gone the next cast, and you guys are gonna be big time.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Okay. Well, thanks again, guys, for joining us on another week of Overwatch. Hopefully, we will be back next week, if not the following week, whatever Thursday we find time, obviously, to do this. Hopefully, there's some big, juicy information. Maybe patch notes, balance notes, getting rid of McCree's flashbang, just completely deleting the character, shutting down the servers, something like that. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you do want to see more of our content. Obviously, give us a like if you like the video, and if you don't like the video, go ahead and hit dislike. It lets us know exactly how well we're doing, and all of that other social media nonsense. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter to know that when we go live on the Thursday that we do, it's roughly around 7 o'clock, and hit the follow button on Twitch as well. All of that stuff helps us out. But hope you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast.